Today we're taking a look at my favourite games published by Cosmi for the Commodore 64. So let's take a look and see what I picked. Aztec Challenge, released in 1983, and this was developed by Paul Norman, and you're going to hear his name a lot in this video because he created a lot of the games I'm going to show you. But Aztec Challenge is a great game. Your goal in this game is to reach the Aztec temple and then explore it, and to do that you've got lots of mini games, and each game is unique, so it will keep you on the edge of your seat right through. And on top of that as well, you gotta love that music. Forbidden Forest, released in 1983, and this is Paul Norman's first game. And what a game this is. You're stuck in the middle of the Forbidden Forest, and you've got all these monsters and animals trying to kill you, and you must escape. And on top of that as well, this game is one of the first games that featured day and night, parallax scrolling, and also the gory effects. This game used to frighten the life out of me when I was a kid, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. Another great game by Paul Norman. Caverns of Kafka, released in 1983. As you can tell by now, this is another Paul Norman title, and you can tell that by the graphics and the music, because he had his own unique style. But back to the game, this is based on Indiana Jones, and your goal in this game is to venture into the caverns, retrieving all the treasure and gold, and defeating all the nasties. Slinky, released in 1984. You control a sprint, and your goal in this game is to jump from block to block, changing them all to the same colour. It's very similar to Cubert, which is another great game, but it does have its own elements to it too. I fired this one up a few nights ago, and I'm not joking, I spent hours on it. This is a great game. Richard Petty's Talladega, released in 1985. This is a racing game with a difference. The idea in this one is to take on a super speedway and beat the King Richard Petty himself and 18 other top drivers. You've got qualifying for pole position, you've got strategy for the pit stops and so on. Not the strongest Commodore 64 racing game out there, but certainly a fun one to try. Super Huey, released in 1985, and this was developed by Paul Norman himself, and this is an helicopter sim, and it's a great one too for the Commodore 64. Your goal in this is very similar to other sim games, where you can either fly around and have a bit of adventure, or go on missions, and that's everything from blowing things up to rescuing people too. Beyond the Forbidden Forest, released in 1985, and this is a sequel to Forbidden Forest, another Paul Norman title. And this one though is slightly different from the predecessor, because now you can go in and out of the background while fighting away the nasties to collect arrows. And you need the arrows because once you get enough arrows you can enter the caves. And in the caves you will meet the demon Gorgon and you must destroy him to complete the game. Absolute classic game again, and the music is great too. Chomp, released in 1989. You play as a little goldfish, and your goal in this game is to eat as many little worms as you can. Then you grow bigger and bigger, and then you can start eating smaller fish and so on. There's many different tanks you jump from into, and be careful as well, there's a cat after you too. Navy SEAL, released in 1989, and this is another Paul Norman title, and the last one I want to show you on the list. This is a great game. You play as a US Navy SEAL, and you've got multiple missions to complete, and every level is unique because it got its own style of gameplay. This is a great game. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all again soon.